And we're live. What's up, guys? We're the Splittin Twigs Crew. I'm Austin. That's Will. And that's Chase down there. Will, get off your phone. So
Sorry. Sorry.
So we're coming in here with Paul Rosen,
AKA Rosie.
aka Rosie. Yes. Will, if you want to give us a little lowdown of him real quick.
So what a story this guy has. I mean, he broke his leg when he was 15, I believe, pretty close to the same injury in the same time frame as Chase. And, he went on for a lot of years with a lot of struggles, and he came back and he joined the Canadian men's national sledge hockey team and won the gold. And there's a lot of other things he overcame, and I'm really excited to have him on this. I'm looking forward to this episode more than anything. So without further ado, we want to bring up Rosie and get started. How's it going, Rose?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Good to see Arizona in the house. My buddy is a massive Leaf fan, and he's just about to turn the game on. And Austin Matthews is like a hero in Toronto.
So funny story about that. Actually, Chase can kind of relate. So Austin Matthews' personal coach when he was growing up, who actually lived with him for a couple years, was Boris Desenko. And Chase actually skates with him now. He's actually his private coach as well on the ice. So kind of a small world.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, this kid's going to go on to score 50 goals in the NHL. I'm going to obviously this year there's only 56 games, but I'm going to say he's going to be the next multiple 50 goal scorer.
Oh, absolutely. The kid is incredible. And, watching him, a lot of what he does is not really, I mean, he's got a lot of skills, but it's a lot of his skating. And that's kind of what this coach works on, is a lot of edge work, inside, outside edges, knowing the limitations and how far you can push your skates.
Yeah. Well, I think what's really surprised a lot of people in Toronto is everybody knew he had a wicked shot and he was a hell of a goal scorer. But what they didn't realize was his two-way game. And that's what impresses me now. The fact that he back checks, that he plays a full 200-foot game. He's truly a superstar.
He really is. He is incredible. I mean, you think about guys like Connor McDavid and stuff, but Austin Matthews, I mean, point for point, he's right up there with them.
Yeah. Well, I say to everybody that'll listen to me, and sometimes that's not a lot, you take Connor McDavid out of the equation. He's a 1 in a million. But outside of Connor McDavid, if I'm starting a team tomorrow, I start with Austin Matthews.
Oh God, yeah. He, like you said, he's a very, very well-versed two-way player. He's got both ends of the ice covered very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of which, we got 2 viewers in here. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Ava. How are you guys doing today? Also, so sorry to change topic so fast. I'm kind of bad at this sometimes.
You're learning,
my
man.
biggest question coming into this is, how did you break your leg and what happened?
Yeah, so when I was playing midget hockey, I was coming around the net as a right winger, and I caught a rut in the ice. I wasn't a goalie. I turned into a goalie and sled, and that all came from really being a catcher in baseball. And it was a spiral fracture. My skate got caught in the ice. My body turned, and my skate didn't, and spiral fractured up from the ankle to just above the knee.
Ouch.
Oh, that's terrible.
And how old were you when that happened?
15, 1975.
Oh man, that's
yeah. That was pretty well the end of any aspiring, career. I played a little after that, but never really. I played men's hockey and that. I still had a real good shot and was kind of big, but never could really get my skating back. And I was always in pain. I had operations from the time I was 15 in 1975 up until 1999 in June when I lost my leg. And they just tried continuously to fix it. And, eventually I had a knee replacement, which the whole story was I picked up an infection in the operating room. And they, yeah, that's how it ended up happening. In 1997, I had a knee replacement, picked up a rare infection in the operating room, And in 1999, I call this, when I do my talks, the 3 craziest days of my life. On June the 8th, I was involved with the Israeli national hockey team. And so I went from Toronto to Israel. I got there on June the 8th, 1999. The doctors pretty well said, there's nothing, your leg's done. It's really going to affect your long-term life situation. I was going to die from the infection.
Mhm.
And the next day, June the 9th, 99, they amputated my leg, mid-thigh. And the next day, June the 10th, I was 100% healthy.
That's crazy that it happens that fast.
Yeah, 3 crazy days. 8th, I'm going to die. 9th, I lose my leg. 10th, I'm healthy. 6 months later, I'm on the national team.
That's crazy. So how did you come about, introducing yourself to sledge hockey and the national team? How did that connection get made?
Yeah, that's a crazy story. So there's a facility in Toronto, in Scarborough, called Variety Village. And I ended up going there at 39. I was told about it. It's a place where a lot of disabled people go to just get back on track, get involved in sport, never thinking of anything other than participating. And I met this 12-year-old boy, Shane Smith, who's still a dear friend of mine to today. And imagine this, guys. I'm 39. He is 12. He's a triple amputee. He has no legs and only one arm.
Wow.
And yeah. And he comes up to me and realizes that we're both live in the same area in Thornhill, and tells me about this game, sled hockey. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And really, just to shut him up, I said I'd play the following Saturday, which is another crazy story. I get to the rink, the local rink. I've never heard of sled hockey. I don't know anything about it. They convinced me to go in goal, and we end up playing this team from Ottawa who had 7 guys on the Canadian national team. I'm totally new to the game, don't really know anything about it, but they convinced me to play, and I decided, okay, it's pretty cool, because I was a catcher in baseball, and baseball was one of my loves as a teenager.
Right.
And we end up losing that game 1-0, but they had 53 shots on me.
Jesus.
So I had a pretty good debut, and the captain of the team comes up to me, asks me what my name is, what's going on, and blah blah blah. And I told him he'd been playing the game since Lillehammer in '94. This is 2000. And he says, I've never heard of you. How long you been playing? I look at my watch. I go 3 hours. And then I got invited to try out for Team Canada.
That's crazy. So 3 days of the most crucial parts of your life, and then 6 months later playing for the national team. That just that little piece of your story is incredible. That's something you don't hear about very often. Austin served in the Army for a while. I'm active duty in the Air Force. I got almost 20 years in, and unfortunately to us, that's really common. We know a lot of people. I was in 2003, I was to go to Afghanistan, and one of the guys that I did training with, desert training, he ended up losing both his legs to landmines over there. So I definitely completely understand, but I don't know how you have the power to overcome those challenges, but my hat's off to you. I mean, that's just that little piece is incredible.
Yeah, I've had challenges in my life and I'm going to be 61 in a couple of weeks at the end of the month. And, I've had challenges in my life, and the leg has never been a challenge. I got to be honest with you. I'm in the midst of finishing my life story, manuscript wise. And, everybody that knows me know this is the truth. The leg has never given me one iota of, why me? Now, I've had many other issues. I've been divorced. I have a daughter of mine who's in her 30s who doesn't talk to me, hasn't talked to me in ages. I had an addiction issue for 35 years. I'm at the end of the month, I'll be 27 months clean and sober for the first time in 35 years.
That's good. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, and a mutual friend of mine, Brady Leibold, who's been a massive part of my recovery with puck support and everything he does in the community. And I think it's all about giving back. So, you go through an addiction. Recovery is the rest of my life, whether I live another week or another 40 years. I'll never be totally clean. Recovery is every day. But it's guys like that, like Brady, who continuously teach me that everything has to be one step ahead. You can't look backwards. Backwards is over. Always look ahead. And if you look ahead, you're going to succeed.
Absolutely. Well, I'm taking up a lot of the mic time, Chase. I mean, this really hits home for you and your injury. Why don't you tell Paul or Rosie? I'm sorry, I'll get that down. Tell them a little bit about what you went through and kind of how your injury came about and what you still kind of see.
So one thing I'm going to apologize before I start this story about is this happened 8 months ago, so I remember every little detail about this. So I'm probably going to go a little more in depth than you than just because it was so recent.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. So it was August 4th, just normal game in Golds League, and I was playing a game, but if I'm being honest, I was pretty mad that game because my grandma had died 3 days prior to that game.
Okay.
So I was just out there for a vengeance, just hitting anybody I could just to let loose a little bit. And so I go to hit this kid. He's about half my height, probably half my weight too. Right? And he jumps out of the way and dumps the puck. And I think I'm just going to hit the boards like every other time. But my leg gets caught in a little divot in the ice where the ice meets the boards. And I fall one way, my leg goes the other way. And it just kind of breaks both bones clean in half, separates them, all the whole 9 yards and everything. And so a funny part about this story is once they got me off the ice and everything, they were taking off my shin pad, right? And there was an EMT there because one of my friend's dads is an EMT. And he was looking at me. He was like, maybe because it was so low and close to my ankle, I thought I broke my ankle. I was like, I broke my ankle. And he was like, maybe you just dislocated your ankle and you'll be just fine. And I was like, hey, maybe it might have. And then he took off my shin guard. He looked at it and he looked up at me like this. And at that moment, I knew I did something bad to my leg. And he said, nope, that's broken. And I remember going to the doctor and looking up at my x-ray after they took my x-ray because I was kind of out of it. And I looked up and I saw my leg on the screen. I was like, that's not my leg. They must have got some of that mixed up. And another funny thing is I did not realize I broke my leg I broke both bones in my leg until like a month or something after I broke my leg, because it was when I got a CAT scan to see if there was any bone in my tissue or anything.
Right.
So I look at my leg, right? And when I look at my leg in the CAT scan, I was like, I broke both of my bones. And I was talking to my mom that night. I was like, I had no idea until I broke both of my bones. I'd seen the x-ray 100 times and I had no idea.
Yeah. What was, I'm always interested in crazy breaks like that. When it happened, did it set in immediately? Did you feel the pain? Like mine was so long ago, I don't remember really. I remember things that happened to me before the amputation, but was the pain crazy? Was it a compound fracture? Did the bone come through the skin?
So they told me that if I wasn't wearing knee pads, that both of my bones would have stuck out my leg. But luckily, because I had pads on, they didn't. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
But yes, the pain did set in. And also I hear a lot of people saying that they hear the snap, but me hitting the boards was so loud, I didn't hear or feel a pop, a snap, or anything. I just felt it break. Well, like I didn't feel it break, but like I felt that I don't even remember falling at all. I don't even remember hitting the boards. I don't remember where I was. I just remember being on the ground and instantly feeling pain, like not the kind of pain like a bruise or anything, but that pain that makes you want to throw up, that sick pain, that sickening feeling. And I just remember feeling that nonstop, and I was kind of rolling around, and then I started getting really claustrophobic in my helmet. So I took my helmet, I threw my helmet, and it was rough. I just remember like it I wanted to roll over and kind of like sit in like a ballish type thing. But I remember the pain being so instrumental that I didn't move my leg at all. I just couldn't.
So where are you now? Like this is 8 months ago. Obviously they had to operate. What happened with the surgery, and from the first one 8 months ago to where you are now?
So I broke my leg on a Tuesday and I got surgery on a Thursday or a Friday, the same week. So it was pretty quick. Luckily, I didn't have to get emergency surgery or anything, but I got 2 plates, one on each bone. So one on my fibula, one on my tibula. And then I have 8 screws in total. I don't know how many on each. I think 4 on each, if I'm not mistaken. And so I broke my leg on August 4th, kind of like I told you. And then I started playing hockey again. I think the first time I skated was October 20th. So the end of October is the first time I got back onto the ice. And which I think is pretty awesome because they told me it was going to be like 6-month recovery or some crazy number like that.
No, from August to October, that's impressive, my friend.
Thank you so much. And to the point where I am now, I mean, I'm a lot better than before. The only thing that I can say that's still definitely affecting me is the pain. If I'm being honest with you, it hurts more to walk than it does to skate, if that kind of makes sense.
It definitely makes sense.
I still feel pain constantly. Like when I move, I can't sitting my ankle down without something under my ankle. Like I don't really tell anybody that. I don't think I've told anybody that. I can feel it straining on my Achilles and it hurts really, really bad. And so I don't even lay my ankle down without something under it anymore. And it does hurt a lot. That's definitely something that I could notice that's probably going to be forever, but it's not instrumental to the point where I can't do certain things anymore.
What are you doing therapy-wise?
So I do a lot of stretches with my ankle, and I did especially like when I first broke it, I did a lot of ankle strengthening things because the biggest thing is my ankle got really, really, really tight. So the biggest thing that they wanted me to keep doing was strengthening my ankle to make sure I didn't roll it or if I didn't sustain an ankle injury because of my leg,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's impressive that you've come back this fast. Just from a piece of advice from a guy who's had 38 surgeries in his life. Listen to the people that are in the know, because I did so many stupid things. There was a time I was 21 years old and I had broken the leg again. I was in a cast from my groin to my ankle, and I was playing men's hockey, but I had this mentality, I could do anything. And we were in the championship game. I wanted to play, but I was in this cast. So I took my hockey bag with a hacksaw to the arena. I hacksawed my cast off. I played. We won 3-2. I got all 3 goals, and then I went back to the hospital for a cast and thought, okay, I'm all right. I'll just recover a little longer. But all of it added to the stress and strain and problems that I ended up having, which ended up taking my leg at 39. Now, this June the 9th will be 22 years from my amputation. And, I've accomplished a lot in my life with one leg, way more with one leg than I did with 2. But I always try to preface that to people that are going through injuries. Like, don't put more trouble on yourself than you have to. Sometimes that added little time is going to help you down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is one thing I was kind of dumb with. My leg. So if I'm being honest with you, I didn't get cleared to actually play hockey until December.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
Yeah, my leg. I mean, it was it wasn't calcified, but like right before it gets calcified, like that hard thing that's on it. I can't think of what it's called on the top of my head.
Callus?
Yeah, the callus or whatever over the bone. I was skating when that callus was like a month on or something.
Yeah.
Some weird number, like when you could still tell that it wasn't as hard as bone in there yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing now, and there might be a lot of people watching that are going to go, Rosie, you are an absolute idiot, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I had a few revisions after I lost my leg while I was playing. There was one time we were in the Czech Republic, and I was showering, and I was very tired. I should have put a chair down. I didn't. I ended up falling in the shower. My stump, the little piece of my thigh, hit the ground, smashed the end of it. I ended up not telling anybody for like 3 months because we had, world championships coming up. I came back. I was walking on basically like my artificial leg. Like, I don't know if I can show you guys here.
Okay.
So my artificial leg was my stump, my thigh, piece of my thigh was in the socket, and it was broken at the end. So every step I was walking on a broken end of the femur, and kind of pretty stupid. But you know, we had a big year that year, and then later the doctor has to amputate 2 more inches, and you know, it's a huge recovery. And he says to me afterwards, like, I don't understand the mentality going through your brain. Like, you know, you put yourself through 3 more months of agony. Was it worth it? And you know what I say? And everybody out there, if you want to judge, you can judge. But I'll tell you, you know, if it was worth it, that's an Olympic gold medal. It was worth it.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, I am definitely not one to judge, man. I think anybody with a strong enough mentality would have done the same thing you did, and that's just crazy impressive. I mean, the just instrumental amount of pain that you must have felt, especially playing in such a game like that at such a high level, even with sled hockey. I mean, that's just absolutely mind blowing to me.
So,
Yeah.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but real quick, I know we talked a little bit before about the blade tech and kind of, you know, that they actually do develop blades for sledge hockey. And I told you a little bit about what they have with the camo pattern and stuff for the Warriors and stuff. And they're actually going to be joining us here in a couple minutes, Anthony and Jeff.
Perfect.
So any questions you got, Rosie, especially for these guys? I mean, these guys are the ones that really educated me in Austin on what sledge hockey was. And man, I can't wait for the rest of this to hear from you, but I'm going to bring them up real quick, and they can kind of tell you a little bit about what benefits they have for sledge hockey as well.
Sure. Sounds fantastic. I see the Leaf jersey there, and
there you go. Paul, pleasure to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We were in the background. We were listening to your stories, and Chase, your story is pretty crazy, pretty surreal. So congratulations on everything you've done. You guys have both accomplished so far. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think Jeff's here as well.
Hey, gents. How are you guys doing?
Good. How's it going, Jeff?
I'm doing good. I can't get my my camera working as well as you guys can, fortunately. So I'll be on the mic only here. But great stories. Really impressive, Rosie. Just, you know, the physical, the mental side of everything. And I think that goes into a lot of things in hockey and all sports and just in life in general, and what you can accomplish when you really set your mind to that. So that's impressive. And Chase, I know you're going through that too right now. So keep strong and you'll get there for sure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, the one thing that's really been my driving force in the 10 years I played for Canada and the 3 Olympic Games in Salt Lake in 2002 and Torino in 2006 and retired after Vancouver was, after I retired, I'm the voice of sled for CBC, TSN, and the IPC.
Right.
I called the games in Sochi in 2014 and the games in Korea in 2018, and then the last World Championships and Worlds are coming up at the end of June in Ostrava in the Czech Republic. And the U.S. team have dominated since 10. They won the Olympics in 10, 14, and 18. They have a team, you know, right now, Steve Cash from St. Louis is the best goalie in the world. They have Brody Roybal, Declan Farmer. The team is incredible. And to me, one of my main goals, no matter how long I live, is to get the able-bodied community to see the disabled community for what they are: incredible athletes first, who happen to be disabled, the sport that is insane, find the ability in disability. And if you watch at the elite level, it's called para ice hockey now, not sled hockey, but if you watch it at the elite level, and you're not blown away, you got serious trouble.
I'll tell you what, Anthony showed us a video after our episode 2, and I was blown away by that. And that's not even at the elite level. That's just some local guys in California.
They were hitting each other. I didn't know that sled hockey was a full contact sport.
Vicious. First fight in the history of the game was in 2005 in Bremen, Germany. I started it behind my net.
Germany. We gotta look that up.
In the Deutschland Cup, one of the German guys hit our player Brad Bowden from behind. I came behind my net and just pounded the daylight out of the guy. And
I love it.
there is you watch a guy. Billy Bridges on Canada is getting ready for Beijing next year. His 6th Paralympic Games. He shoots the puck 80 miles an hour with one hand. Like I said, Brody Roybal from Chicago is the best player in the world. He can stop on a dime. It's vicious. It's absolutely incredible. I'm pretty sure that he might have been from Arizona. Miko Landros. He was there. He's not on the team anymore, but I think he was from Arizona. This guy was a monster, man. When you got hit by Landros, you knew you were hit.
That's crazy. So what is the differences? I mean, obviously it's completely different skating on your feet to being on a sledge, but I mean, is the style even the same? Is like edge work? Like, how different is it?
Well, the biggest thing I'll tell you is when we, I don't know if you guys remember how old you guys are. If you remember Dan Snyder, he died in the car accident with Danny Heatley in 2003. He was on the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yep.
So Dan's uncle, Jeff, coached the Kitchener Rangers in the OHL. He was our coach. He took over in 2004. And he said to me at one practice, because I was when I made the team, I was older than everybody. I was older than our GM, than our coach. Then I started playing at 40, retired at 50. And I said to him, Schneitz, coach the team the same way you coach the Kitchener Rangers. The only difference is we're in sleds, so we're down lower. We're skating with our hands. Other than that, the movement on the puck is the same. The way we skate, the way we turn, the way as a goalie, I get square to the puck and go post to post is the same. The biggest difference is that you're down low. You just got to get used to the sled. But the game itself, the fundamentals of the game, the drills that we did, the left wing lock, the movement on a power play, exactly the same. And when you understand that, that's when you get to the elite level.
That's incredible how similar they really are.
Yeah.
So my question is how difficult was it to be a goalie in sled hockey? Like, how is the movement different? Because like you see goalies who do like the butterfly, the butterfly
Pushing
technique
off the
is very
post side to
prevalent.
side.
Or
Yeah.
the T
The T pushes.
the T push and stuff like that. How different is it in sled?
Well, yeah, that's totally different in the sense of because as a goaltender, first of all, I was very fortunate because when I got into sled, I knew the game like from playing since I was 4 years old, but I was a catcher in baseball. So as a goaltender, the glove is critical because it's the only game in the world that you can score over my head. And I was a fairly big guy. You can score over my head and under the crossbar. So the key to that was getting my glove, making the guy, like a lot of hockey players are stupid. I got to be honest with you. So if a hockey player was smart, he'd go, hey, I'm going to score a goal the best way I can score a goal. So if I see this goalie and his glove is incredible, I'm not going to go to his glove because there's going to be great, saves that are going to be all over the world of him making this stop. And I have some beauties. I'm going to go to his weaknesses, and the weakness in sled goalie, I don't care how good you are. Like I said, Steve Cash, best in the world. You shoot the puck anywhere around this area here, above his head, to the side. You can't stop it. It's impossible. So why would you go to a goalie strength? Because shooters are stupid sometimes. Now, the biggest thing to learn was how to go post to post, and that's all work. The one thing I did, and I recommend this to every goalie, is I got an able body coach immediately. My guy's Jamie McGuire goaltending. He had 8 goalies in the NHL at the time. I didn't train for the first 6 months with anybody on a sled. I only trained with American Hockey League players, NHL caliber players, and I knew if they shot at me in the 90s and the 100s and I could stop them, then I was going to be able to stop a sled. Because the biggest difference in a sled game for a goalie as opposed to an able body game, and I'll give you a tip now, don't say when you're talking about the NHL to sled, don't say regular hockey or say the way you describe it is able body hockey to sled hockey or para ice hockey. Otherwise, you're insulting the guys that play at the Paralympic level. But the biggest thing that you really have to understand is when you're taking shots as a sled hockey goalie in an NHL game, 20 shots would not be a lot on a goalie. In a sled game, 20 is enormous because there's so many sleds that in the house, in the front of the net, there's so much traffic. So unless you go above into the top corner, anything is going to hit a lot. So there's a lot of block shots, a lot of deflected shots off of sleds. You really want to be the best players in the world. Like I keep going to the Brody Roybals, the Declan Farmers, the Billy Bridges, those particular guys, they're going to go top corner because that's when the goalie has to make it. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of block shots. So if any young goalies out there, critical to practice as much as you possibly can, work on going post to post, work on getting square to the puck and forcing the player to beat you. And if he beats you with a good shot, there's the captain of the U.S. team when I was playing with Joe Harrod from Boston. I had a great relationship, a love-hate with Joe. I hated to play against him, but I loved his he loved putting that U.S. jersey on, and I loved putting that Canadian jersey on. So when he beat me with a good shot, it was like, hey, man, great shot. And when I made a great stop on him, it was great stop. That's the other thing too, is the sled community, the para ice hockey community. You're playing for a country, it's vicious, but when it's all said and done and the game is over, 90% of us came this close to dying. So you gotta maybe understand that, once that jersey's on, you're playing for your country. When the jersey's off, we're in a community that's very, very tight.
And speaking about that, the tightness of the community and stuff, Anthony was kind of telling us on the episode too, some things they're trying to do to work with the sled hockey organizations and everything. And Anthony, I'll let you speak a little bit, kind of what you were talking to us about, and I don't want to misspeak. So.
Yeah, no, there's a number of things we did. I mean, the reason we got into this in the first place was that people came up to us from the community and said, hey, saw you make blades. The technology looks amazing. Do you guys make sled blades? And the answer was no, but we'll look into it. Let's see what it's like. And we just got kind of welcomed or invited into this community and have learned, so much and met so many great players. And when we did our research, our product research of looking around, it was like, there's 2 companies in North America that make products basically for sled hockey players. I'm like, that's crazy. There's got to be better stuff. So we were like, making a high quality steel. We're like, well, let's make steel. I mean, that's an important part of the sled. Everybody's skating on their steel all the time. So we've had huge, great feedback from everybody. You name some of the guys on the U.S. team. Unfortunately, they are on Blade Tech as well. So some of those guys. So we're helping them out for sure. But it's been amazing to see, how many sled players hockey there are in North America and Europe as well. We've got a bunch of guys in Norway, Germany that are super interested, super competitive, and really want, just like any hockey player, they want the best equipment, they want the best stuff out there. So we're happy to be able to supply that. And we're doing things like getting to, there's some tournaments going on that we're hopefully, when the border opens up and we can travel, we can get down to some of these tournaments, meet some of these people, personally. So we're supporting national teams, we're supporting local teams and other pro teams in San Diego and Tampa and those places. So it's been amazing. And then some great stuff as well is a lot of people are veterans. Yeah. So we've been able to do cool things with our blade, like customize them and make them camo and these types of things. But just, it gives that a little extra something for these people who've given, their lives and their bodies for their country, at war. So you said, kind of the pride of putting on the jersey and being in that situation. I mean, these people have done it their whole lives, some of them, and so it's just fun. It's fun. It's cool. It's amazing to be part, a very, very small part of their experience and that stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, if, we should, after this, exchange info, because I would love to help you guys in any way, before this COVID happened, I was traveling the world with all the events, and I know a lot of the guys, and I would love to help out in any way. Any product that's going to help the players, that's the number one thing. You know, obviously the patriotism of the U.S. is insane. I think it was Torino when they started. Like, our sleds were either red or white, straight color, and then I think it was through Joe Howard, and then guys like Rico Roman, who was a vet. I'm sure you know all these guys, and you know, they started with the flag, the American flag, on their sled, and it's. When you see a team come out and they have their country flag on their sled, if you don't understand what's going on, then you have serious problems. And the great game, and I'm glad you said it about the club level, because the from when I started, and you know, there's just an A pool now. There's an A pool, a B pool, a C pool. There's countries like Australia and New Zealand and Israel starting to come out with a team. Korea. There's teams all over the world. But the game is what it is now because of the grassroots, because of the local, you know, almost every state in the US has a program. Almost every province in Canada has a program. And that's where you get it, because it's not only a disabled game. You know, at the Paralympic level, you have to, but the game can't exist, and I've said this to anybody who listen. The game can't exist without able body. When you're playing at the club level, the you know, maybe you got 12 guys on the team, 4 are disabled, 8 are able body. The great thing about it is you're disabled and your brother or sister aren't. You can play on the same team. You know, that's the thing that I absolutely love about ice hockey, sled hockey, is it's for everybody. Mom can play it, dad can play it, and at the club level, they open it up to everybody. So kudos to what you're doing. I'd love to get involved, because anything that gets the game safer and faster and better, I'm in.
We'll definitely,
absolutely, Paul.
We'll definitely hook up with you, Paul. And it's unfortunate that with this COVID, we weren't able to do that already. We were ready to go down into Pittsburgh for the annual sledge championship, or the festival there, and unfortunately, with, you know, what's going on in the world, that wasn't able to go on. But we are ready and excited for them when the next one comes. We can meet all the great guys like you. And if I can throw in there, like Anthony said, when we got approached to do sledge hockey, it was one of like the most humbling things to kind of be asked to do. And there's a few of these things that happen with us in this business, which it just kind of touches your heart. Whether it's a guy from the army, or, you know, in this case, a sledge guy, and they say, "Hey, can you do this for us?" And some of these cool projects that we do that not many people know about, but it's really amazing to do. And I will say that the sledge community and those guys have been the easiest, the best, the most fun guys to work with. They're so down to earth. They're so humble. They're so easy to get along with. And I think you kind of nailed the, you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head there when you said, when you're on the ice, it's ferocious. Like, you guys smashing into each other is just unreal. Just seeing, you know, just how you guys go at it on the ice. It's amazing to watch. But like you said, like, after everything's done, you guys get together and have beers and you guys relax and you talk. But that's something that, you know, sometimes doesn't happen, you know, in, you know, other forms of athletics where there's still like that grudge. But you guys, like you said, you're able to put that aside and you're trying to grow the whole community. You're trying to grow the whole sport. And I really respect that. And we can't wait to be a bigger part of it. And let us know how we can help you as well in doing that. If you have any ideas, please do share them.
Hey, Rosie, I got to ask you real quick. So I know you said retired and all that, and obviously that's kind of some of the past, but you still play beer league?
No.
Have beer leagues up there you're in?
Oh, well, we have the club level, absolutely. But the reason why I stopped playing club after I retired is because, well, first of all, I'm going to be 61 years old at the end of this month. I've had 38 surgeries. I have no teeth. I've had 12 concussions. I've got hearing aids, and there's always going to be one kid who's 17 or 18. He's not good enough to play on the national team, but he wants to rip one off of Rosie's head, the gold medalist. You know, I was showing the boys, I brought the gold from Torino, which we beat Norway 3-0. It was the first ever shutout in Canadian hockey history, men, women. And I don't have anything to prove, but this kid wants to, and he drills one off of my head. Then I get upset, and then people are going, "Oh, look at Rosie, you can't take it." No, I can take it when I played. I can't take it now. So no, I do not play, but I do a lot of charity events. I'll come out, I'll kiss some babies, I'll do what I do, but I'm not getting what I will do, and I still do, is I'll go on with a bunch in intermission with some able-bodied guys from the community that play at the pro level, and we'll set up 10 pucks out in the slot area and let them go top corner for my glove, because that's what I was famous for. If they score anywhere else, it doesn't count. But if they can beat me on the glove, I still do that. I just did an event a little while ago with Gary Lehman, who back in the day scored 50 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had 10 shots. He didn't score one. So I'm still confident in that, but not to play it at any other level. I'll give you, if you guys got a second, I'll give you one really good thing about the sportsmanship after a game in sled. So in 2009, I'll give you a trivia question here. So 2009, we played 6 games. I got 6 shutouts, and we won the bronze medal, not the gold medal. How does that happen?
6 games, 6 shutouts.
Yeah, bronze medal, not gold.
I have a guess.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you.
What's your guess, Chase?
Oh no, let Anthony go first because he said
No. Like, host first, please.
the other team had to have a better goal differential than you.
Nope.
Shootout.
You got it, brother. The semifinal game, the U.S. beat us 1-0 in a shootout. Shootout goals don't count against the goalie, so I still got the shutout. But the kid that scored the 1-0 goal, and is Adam Page from Buffalo. Nice kid. I found out. So he scored. It ended up, we were going to like 6 shots, back, forth, and he shot it. It hit the post, hit my back, and then went in. That's how we lost in the shootout. But the puck went in, and they didn't get it. They were so excited. They went on to play the Norway in the gold medal game and won the gold. That was their first goal in 2009 in the World Championships. But I pulled the puck out and kept it in my glove. I found out when the game ended that it was Chase's or Adam Page's first goal ever. His dad was there. They're from Buffalo. I was pissed that we were done and we had to play for bronze, but there was a part of me that, is at that time 47 or 48 years old. The kid's 17 years old. So I got showered up and I waited, and he comes out of the dressing room and his dad is there and they're hugging, and I go, "Hey, Pager." You go, "Yeah." He says, "Nice goal, brother. Here's the puck. I pulled it out of the net." And he's like, "Oh my God, thanks, Rosie." Now they only know me on the ice as this prickles, just smash guys and do whatever. The father said to me the next day, he goes, "I don't understand what that was about." And I go, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, why'd you give the puck to my son?" I said, "Well, because he scored the goal. Game's over. He scored the goal. I take the puck, throw it in the garbage, flush it down the toilet. But I know I have the puck from the gold medal game in Torino that I got a shutout, and I deserve that shutout, and that's my puck forever. He scored this goal to take you guys to the gold medal game tomorrow. He deserved that. That's not my puck. It's his puck." And that's when I think the father, who was in his 40s, realized that his kid, who was he went on to win the gold in Vancouver with them and in Sochi's not playing anymore. But that's when they realized that when this game was over, on the ice, I would have killed him. But when the game was over, he deserves that puck, not me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that I've noticed, and I think my wife and everybody that's kind of coming around hockey has noticed, is that hockey is a very family-oriented sport. It's a very, very close-knit community that, if something happens to one player, it don't matter what city, what town, what state, what province you're in, the whole hockey community stands up. I mean, Humboldt, prime example. I mean, how many sticks were out across the world on people's front porches? It's just, it is incredible. And to hear stories like that, that's exactly why the community is the way it is because of people like you, Rosie. I mean, that give that sportsmanship and show it.
Well, I tell you about Humboldt. I traveled for those 10 years on buses just like that, all across Canada, all across the States, all across Europe. That could have been a bus that Team Canada was on, or USA. any of the junior teams, and
team.
it happened in Humboldt, and it that's small town Saskatchewan. This was absolutely vicious, and it just a week ago was the 3-year anniversary, April 6th, 2018.
Yep.
Yeah, it's everybody's had those trips, and that's why I think it hit everyone, because everybody had that same thought. Is like, that could have been our bus.
Yep.
Just as easily going through during the winter, dark roads, you name it. I mean, it's how many thousands, tens of thousands of players are doing that around the world every day. Because no one's like the NHL's flying, but no one else is. That's how you get around. So that was very, very devastating for sure for the whole community.
Even the American Hockey League, there's nobody is on planes other than the NHL.
I mean, I'll be on buses this season actually, yeah, because this season I travel by myself. For
He's a big boy now.
Yeah, I know. Finally, I like that. When he just said that, I just thought of that one diaper commercial. I'm a big kid now.
Oh my gosh.
All righty. Okay. I think definitely bringing the sled or the para ice hockey community into what you're doing is massive, and you will get the reward of the players being just respectful to you will come back tenfold.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that Chase really likes about the blades is the personal touch. So Chase has had a few pairs of blades from them. One being he's got something for his Nana on there that passed away last summer. But especially with these sledge guys, I mean, there's a piece to every player that means more than the world to them, and they can have that under their sled every game they play in. You know, even for you, Rosie, you know, they can do up like Canadian flag patterns on these blades, and it's incredible. It really is.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think when you started saying it, the wheels are turning in my head, that every single player in every single country has a story.
Absolutely.
So, you know, whether it be that flag of their country somewhere and then a piece of their story. You know, with me, I started playing when I was in my 40s. My kids are all in their, my son will be 35 tomorrow, but my kids were in their teens when I was playing. I missed birthdays. I was all over the world. So one of my tattoos is my kids' names with my number. And I wore number 57 because my kids' birthdays all added up to 57. So no matter where I was in the world, I had them with me. So yeah, something like, you know, their names and that my number and then the Canadian flag, every single player has something like that.
For sure.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun, and that's what we love. We love hearing the stories, and that's what lasts. Right at the end of the game, when you're retired, you know, you remember that you have the memories and the stories that you share them with the people you share it with. So it's definitely something cool to be part of while players are playing, and we're always listening and open to hearing more and doing different things and doing special things as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, I get asked the question all the time, you know, what do you miss about the game? You miss it. And there's only one thing I miss about the game, you know, obviously putting the jersey on. I don't miss getting drilled in the head in practice. I don't miss a lot of it, but I miss the dressing room. I miss the stories. I miss traveling with my teammates. And that's why now, you know, I do it, the broadcast end of it, when I get to the rink and I see the guys and there's only 2 players on Canada that I played with that are still playing. But it's just watching the guys come out of the room and the jokes. And I'm telling you, and I don't know if you've got any stories, a lot of them I can't tell from the players, but the players, the things that players do to each other at the para level are a billion times worse and funnier than at the NHL level. You know, before 9/11, we used to go to Japan all the time on tournaments, and we'd fly the red eye from Vancouver to Tokyo. We had 7 amputees on our team in this one flight. This one I can tell. You know, it's about 3 in the morning, and there's a lot of elderly Asian ladies on the plane going back to their family. I get the other guys who go, give me your leg, give me your leg. I put all 8 legs in the upper compartment with the feet hanging out, the shut, but not shut totally. The feet hang. Then you get like a 75-year-old Asian lady at 3 in the morning get up to go take a pee because it's a 12-hour flight, and all she sees is these feet hanging out of the top. It's pretty funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we do some funny things to guys. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely never done that. I mean, we've done.
Well, I hope not. I hope you never do that. If you do that, your doctor's done a brutal job.
We've done some pretty dumb things, especially in my locker room. And we've said some pretty dumb things, but that's by far the funniest.
But one of these days you're going to be sitting back and you're going to have just as many stories as Rosie, and you're going to be there going, "Man, we were dumb when we were kids." I think all of us do that.
Yeah,
and that's the great thing about hockey is we're all still kids at heart. So whether you're Chase's age or you're up in Rosie's age, you're still having those great moments of camaraderie, and you're still building all those great relationships and all those great stories and memories. So your early days, Chase, and I'm sure you still have a few good ones ahead of you, like Rosie, and maybe you'll surpass them in some stories for sure.
I hope so. And I hope the one thing, and this is the one thing that means a lot to me, and I talked about my buddy Brady Leibold a lot. At 61, I was telling the guys before you guys came on, at the end of the month, I'll be 27 months clean and sober for the first time in 35 years. And, I had a severe addiction to painkillers from my first bad injury, and it just went on. And it took me to an unbelievably dark road with, one of my tattoos, January 30th, 2019. And that's when I tried to take my life. And, unbelievably, it didn't work. The doctors still have no clue, but I spent a lengthy time in the hospital, and finally reached out for help. And now I'm on that road to recovery. It's still a road every day. I have great people in my corner like Brady and Puck support. But it's something that is critical to giving back, because this game, it gives you so much, but the one thing that it hasn't done yet, it hasn't been there for the hockey players that retire with financial addiction issues, and there's no place to turn other than suicide. And we're seeing too many young players overdose and die through addiction, that we have to get on board together to stop it and to get them to realize, because I say this all the time, and Chase, there's getting to the top of the mountain is incredible. I've been at the top many times. I've been rolled down to the bottom many times. But when you climb back to the top and you plant your feet securely, which is where I am now, and you look out, the view is spectacular. And you got to take that view in, take it in as what you've accomplished in life, and do as much as you can for as many people as you can to get them to the top of the mountain with you.
That's exactly what it's all about.
Very, very well said.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm definitely going to say that I was also kind of wanting to talk about this podcast as well is I actually have I'm kind of a very superstitious person. So like I think it was, which podcast?
Yesterday.
Yeah, Talking Hockey asked me about if I have any like superstitious things that I do like when I'm getting ready for hockey, and I definitely do. Like I put my left shin guard on, then my right one, my breezers, then I tie my skates, or tie my left skate halfway, then I tie my right skate halfway, then I finish my left one, then I finish my right one, and then right elbow pad, left elbow pad, then chest protector and jersey. So I'm a very, very superstitious person when it comes to that kind of stuff. And tomorrow night I'll actually be playing in Gold's League again, which is the league I broke my leg in. So I'm very nervous.
Yeah, you know what you have to do, and I'll tell you this, when it comes to injury, because I had a lot of injuries over my career, is the first thing you got to do when you get to the rink tomorrow is put it out of your head. I'm telling you from a guy who's been there, brother. I'm saying I have 38 surgeries in my life. Put it, because as soon as you put it out of your head, you're starting fresh. Okay, it never happened. But if you keep it in there, you're going to wonder, oh my God, that was the corner. That was the corner I broke my leg. That was the corner the guy cross-checked me. It's just got to be over with. And I know it's an easy thing to say, but I've been there, so I can say it to you. Get to the rink tomorrow. It's a brand new game. It's a fresh start. You're an incredible kid. You're recovered, and you're starting your journey brand new. Everything that happened before you, it happened. It's over with. Forget about it. And as far as superstitions go, that's the most incredible thing about sport is superstition is yours. Now, I used to tell my girlfriend all about my superstitions because she didn't see me when I played. I can't believe it. Like I used to tape my one leg, you know, the way, because I didn't wear my artificial leg. So it had to be 13 times. It couldn't be 12, couldn't be 14, it had to be 13. I didn't get dressed until the entire team was ready. And probably the Zamboni was just coming on. Guys used to go crazy. Your goalie's supposed to be ready. No. I'm going to get ready when I am. If I didn't play well, then you could get upset. But goalies are a little weird to begin with. Okay. That's just a fact. And then when I got on the ice before the game started, I would tap my post 3 times, my other post, slide my stick around and whack myself in the head as hard as I could. Why? Stupidity. What it does, it gets you prepared in your mind. And Chase, that's the only thing that matters. When you get prepared in your mind and you're ready to play for your teammates, and that's what the game's all about. Like if you're not a team guy, I always tell people play tennis or play golf. But if you're going to play hockey, you have to play for everybody in that room. You have 15 guys, 17 guys, 20 guys. They are more important than you in your mind. Because as soon as you think about yourself over your teammates, that's when you are not going to succeed.
So I got to ask Rosie, because you have plenty of experience in this area. I get the advice you're giving Chase to push out of his head, but what are some things you did before your games after injuries to help you push that out of your, like, what did you do to push that out of your head?
So I was very fortunate when I played for Canada. We had an incredible sports psychologist, and they got me to, and you know, obviously at this level you're not going to have a sports psychologist, but there's many things nowadays. There's so many things on the internet. You meditation, mindfulness. It's so important. So she would teach me to just, before we went on the ice, just block everything out. Go to a quiet place, whether it's, you know, you thinking you're in your room or listening to music that gets you prepared. And for maybe 15 minutes before the coach needs to talk, you got to forget about the entire world. Just think about, oh my God, this is such an incredible opportunity to play this game that I love, to play for my brothers that I love playing for, to have my family watch me. What an incredible experience this is going to be. Don't think about, oh my God, I got hurt here, or this guy number 17 on the other team's a big goop and he's going to get me. Forget about that stuff, because the bad stuff will destroy you if you think about it. Always think about the good stuff. Even when, you know, I let a bad goal in, immediately it's like, man, and I hate letting goals in practice even, but if you dwell on that, you're destroying yourself. Always give yourself that opportunity to succeed. And by thinking negative, you're never going to succeed.
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. And hopefully at some point we'll get this over with and I'll get to come out to Arizona and see you guys.
That would be you're welcome to come anytime.
Yeah, we're due for a trip.
We got to open the border though first. I can't even get out of Ontario.
Oh, we'll sneak you out. Me and Austin have been cops for a lot of years. We'll figure out a way to get you out here.
Look, I know a hole somewhere up north. We can figure it out.
All right. I'm in. Like I said, we've got the bond with Austin Matthews here in Toronto, and yeah, this guy, man, he can play the game. He is just an absolute gem. He's going to win the Rocket Richard Award this year for most goals, and I can't see anybody taking that away from him for a number of years.
He is very impressive. And what is it like skating for his private coach? I mean, you skate with Austin Matthews' coach that taught him when he was a little kid. What is this guy teaching you?
Well, definitely the drills he teaches me are pretty difficult. Some of the stuff we do is just mind-boggling. Like they're like, even when I am able to do the drill, I'm like, did I just do that right? I don't know. And I have to think about it so many times to make sure I did it right. And the biggest thing is it's definitely very scary. Boris is a very intense coach, but I love him. He's very good.
And I
You
think
know
he's
what?
like Ukraine or somewhere. So he has that thick Russian accent. So when he's yelling at you on the ice, boy, you would hear it across the building.
It's scary.
Well, my son's a professional dancer, and he had growing up, his trainer was a Russian guy, and always said, like, you can say whatever you want about the Russians, but their work ethic is second to none. And if you want to be the best, you have to put out. You have to sacrifice. You're never going to be like, you look at an Austin Matthews, a Sidney Crosby, a Connor McDavid. They're not the best because they get off the ice 10 minutes before anybody. They're the best because if you say 20 drills, they do 40 drills. If you say 40, they do 60. That's the best of the best. We used to have guys on our team that would say to me, hey, Rosie, I'm on the third line. Like, how do I get to the second line? How do you get to the second line? No, you can't be thinking about how do you get to the second line if you're on the third line. You got to be thinking about how am I get to the first line. Always dream big. Always bust your butt to be better than you ever thought you could be. And you'll surprise yourself. And if somehow you can't do it, well, at least you tried. It's the guy who goes, I can't do it anyways. I'm not going to just, I'm happy being a third line left winger. It's guys like that. I don't want guys like that on my team.
I definitely heard one guy say at one point in time that, if you reach for the stars, it's an incredible thing when you actually grab one and hold on and don't let go. Not sure who said that, Rosie, but that was pretty good. Good piece of advice.
You just look at the best of the best, whether it's Tiger Woods in golf or Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. These guys they get their entire life was being the best, and that's what it's all about. And I'm not saying at 16, 15, 17 you have to forget about the rest of your life, because I'm a true believer in doing a lot in hockey players playing baseball or other things in the summer. I don't think you need to play a sport 12 months a year. I think you want to get kids to do other things, but you have to commit to working. You can't just get on the ice and take a shot and be the best. You have to work your tail off. You have to be in the gym. This is 2021. If you don't do it, the guy beside you is going to take your job.
Absolutely.
That is definitely something that is definitely very prevalent. That was actually the best thing that you've ever said, or for me at least, because like something that my dad
Rosie's got some good words of wisdom. I'm sure is way better out there.
For like one thing that my dad always tells me, he's at home right now, but one thing that he always tells me when he's working, because my dad's been through a lot. He's actually been in the face of getting his leg amputated because he broke both his hips and got surgery, and then they snipped the nerve in his leg. And so now he has chronic pain and stuff like that. I mean, he just got surgery again to try and help it. And one thing my dad always tells me is my dad still works out and walks a mile or two a day and stuff like that. And he always tells me, you need to work your hardest, because if you don't, there's going to be somebody else out there who's working. The day you take off, there's going to be somebody working out 3 times as hard as you do, even when you are working out. So that's definitely something I do take to heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you right now that if you want to reach out to your dad, I'll give you my personal number. He can call my cell anytime, day or night, and I'll talk to him, because I tell this to people all the time. And I don't mean this to be funny, but legs are overrated, man. I had 39 years of my life with 2 legs, and I had a good life, but I've had 22 years with 1 leg. And I've accomplished more with 1 leg than I ever could with 2. As far as disability goes, you can do anything with an artificial leg nowadays. It's not 30, 40, 50 years ago. So to get yourself out of pain, if he has to have his leg amputated, man, you can accomplish anything.
That's absolutely true. There's no other words. I mean, that's Austin's asking, does that work with shoulders too? Me and him both have shoulder surgeries, and he's injured right now.
Yeah, you know what? I got a lot of buddies who are arm amps and leg amps, and I'd much rather lose my leg than lose my arm.
Yeah, because you get that. This is one thing I was just thinking about. So I've heard a lot of stories, and my dad's actually talked to me about one of the reasons why he fought so hard not to get one or an amputated was because of like ghost leg or ghost syndrome, where like you can still feel the limb even though it's gone.
So it's called phantom pain. And 22 years later, I still get it. I still feel my toes. I still, every once in a while, I'll be laying in bed and my stump, the little piece of my leg will jump up in the air. That happens, but that's not a reason why you don't do it. Like, that's just, it's a part of, it's an unfortunate part. Some guys get it for years, and some guys have it severe, sometimes don't. But you weighs the pros and cons. If the leg is worthless, it's not doing anything, you've got no real good quality of life, then you deal with the after effects of the amputation. But it's called phantom pain, and it definitely does exist. I never lie to anybody that I'm mentoring that's going to lose a limb, but it does happen.
Yeah, my dad, he's 37 years old, and I feel bad because I think
That's when I got sick at 37 and lost my leg at 39.
he's 37 or 38, and he's been dealing with this for.
One of the cool things I can do, though, with my leg that I do for kids, so I can flip my leg up.
I was not expecting that.
I love Rosie, man. He's awesome.
When I used to drink, I'd go to the bar and I'd take up less space because I can put my beer on top of my leg, and it's a great party trick, and people love it. It's one thing that when you do, I do that all the time with kids, because when a kid sees, and anybody that's watching that's disabled out there, the worst thing you could do is scare somebody about your disability. Because young kids all the time look at me and they'll go, look, oh, mom, dad, it's Superman, or it's Terry Fox, or it's Robot Man. And the parent always goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry he said that or she said that. No, kids don't know. They're seeing a guy with a robot leg. So that's when you explain to the little boy or little girl that, we're exactly the same. I just have a robot leg. I take it off at night. I spin it upside down. I say, want to see a magic trick? And then it's nothing. And the next person they see with an artificial leg or a wheelchair, it's second nature to them. But if you act like, oh, kid, go away, kid, then the kid's scared to death of disability. And that's why this world is got to change, because it's the kid, it's you guys, Austin, are going to change the world, that are going to get the everybody to understand that things happen. I didn't know at 36 that I was going to end up getting sick and losing my leg and traveling the world. I had no clue, but I know when it happened that it turned into be an incredible situation. And there's still tough days. Like, I don't want to make it like it's all like, rainbows and beautiful. There's days where I have wicked pain. There's days where I forget that, I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. I don't have my crutches. I go to put my foot down. It's not there. I fall over. That still happens. But you weigh the good with the bad, and you can't even compare it, man.
Yeah, I mean, your story is absolutely incredible, because to go through things like that and not give up, because you see a lot of people who go through things like that and they do unfortunately give up. And for everything you've been through, I mean, kind of like Will was saying, like with the stories with your daughter and stuff like that, like to hear stories like that, I mean, you getting your GED at 50, that's just an amazing story, because you've persevered through so many hard things through your life, let alone with the physical things that have happened to you. It's just an amazing story to follow.
They often talk about, and we hear it all the time, that us as police officers are heroes, us in the military are heroes. But I'll tell you what, from wearing both of those hats, guys like Rosie are heroes. Guys that actually face challenges and overcome them, those are the real people that we should look up to. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I literally, just from watching about 8 minutes of video the other day of you giving to the literacy group and your little intro with your Adidas shirt on, Rosie, is just, even just that 8 minutes, I'm like, this guy is somebody that everybody needs to look up to and strive to be. It's incredible to hear your stories and what you have overcame.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That was the one thing my mom passed away 5 years ago. And that was the one thing she was the most proud of, is the literacy, because I went through school, and it was actually Brent Sopel, who played with the Hawks and won a Stanley Cup in 2010 and has a foundation for dyslexia. I was reading and writing at a grade 6 level up until a number of years ago, and I got involved with ABC Life Literacy and started helping adults with literacy issues, because I always thought I was just an idiot. Teachers say, you're back in the 70s, you're an idiot, you can't read, you can't write. And I got put back. I failed twice, and then you realize, well, no, I have an issue. And then I started working on it. And I could go tomorrow, and this is what a lot of people do, and you saw it in that video. I could go tomorrow in front of 10,000 people and talk my story, or talk about hockey, or talk about almost anything. But you give me a piece of paper to read in front of 5 people, and that's my kryptonite. That's where I go insane. And I'm starting to get better because, I understand I have dyslexia now, and I understand that it is a disease. It's like addiction. 4 years, people used to say to me, why can't you stop? I was taking between 30 and 40 oxys a day. Why can't you stop? Yeah. Why can't you stop? Well, it's addiction. I can tell. Well, my book is Roger Lajoie is writing my book. We're in the editing process. It's going to be out in July. It's called Never Give Up, Paul Rosen story. And I'm going to send all of you guys a copy.
Absolutely. That as soon as that comes out, I
was just about to say, I would
extremely excited to hear that.
Yeah,
but I think it's important to tell the story of what I did. Like, my mind was so January 30th. It was Bell Let's Talk Day, 2019. Do you remember Rick Rippon with the Vancouver Canucks? He killed himself. So there was a piece on that. At that point, I had it. I couldn't take the pain anymore. And it's not, I say this to a lot of people. I do a lot of talks on suicide prevention and that. It's not that I wanted to die, guys. I just couldn't live with the pain I was in daily anymore. And I set this whole thing up. I watched the hockey game that night. I watched the video. It was Bell Let's Talk. And then I set out. I took 35 oxys and drank a gallon bottle of Windex. And I spent 17 days in the psychiatric ward. I didn't die for whatever reason. I'm here for a reason, because the doctor said there's no way you should have lived through that. But to me, every day I live from that point on, which is coming up on 27 months at the end of this month, April 30th, it's for the reason to help others. Like and I keep going back to Brady because he's a dear, it's like a brother to me. With the foundation he has, Puck Support, he is helping so many. We've lost so many to suicide and to overdose and to addiction, that if we don't start telling our story to help others, then what's the point? And the hockey community has been hit, especially with COVID. It has been hit so hard that relapse and addiction we're losing too many.
Absolutely. There's got to be a culture change. And I think awareness is the biggest step to culture change. I don't know that there is a right answer other than awareness being the biggest thing, because people got to understand that it's okay to not be okay.
That you couldn't have said it better. It is okay to not be okay. Absolutely.
I think telling the story too gives those people without hope or feel alone that there's a way out. You found a way to do it, and if you can do it or other people can do it, that there's a way, and that there's people like them who were in the same place that they were, that they're and feeling similar things that they're feeling right now. So I think that's touched us in a lot of ways with our own family and friends and anybody else that I'm sure everybody knows, or 1 or 2 degrees separation from people going through all sorts of stuff. But definitely through COVID, definitely through the hockey community and what happens after people have careers and lives in hockey, there's definitely, I mean, it's great what Brady's doing, and we work with him as well. So it's actually, that's how we got connected with Chase. So love supporting that thing, and it's absolutely necessary, and we need to do more for sure.
And I'm sorry, Chase, because with the in the other room, I'm in my buddy's bedroom right now doing the show, and he's in the other room watching the Leaf Canadian game. And I think I called you Austin twice because I hear Austin Matthews name being sounded. So there's nothing really wrong with that, because if somebody's going to call me something different than my name, Austin's pretty good. I'll but no, I do agree that, maybe when this is all done, between Brady and Puck Support and you guys and Blade Tech, we can start and change the mindset and start to help people, because there's no other reason why I'm here other than to help.
Yeah,
Actually, tell you a story. Brady is actually the reason that this podcast is even a thing. This podcast was made because of Brady. Me and Brady started to get really close a little while ago. I haven't talked to him as much as I probably should have recently, but he actually helped me through a lot of stuff because he talked to me a little bit closer to when my injury happened. It was a little bit after I started skating again, but he definitely helped me through a lot of mental aspects of it. And this podcast definitely was started pretty much because of him. I would have never started this podcast without meeting Brady. Brady has definitely helped me through a lot of stuff.
And same to me, absolutely, same to me, and that's what it's all about. It's about us helping each other, and this is why, when I got asked to do this, I said in a heartbeat yes, because Chase, you're going to be the guy that's going to help the next Chase down the road.
yeah,
Absolutely. And that's kind of a big way we're going with the podcast too, is just kind of giving younger athletes an outlet, giving them, okay, here's some of the experienced guys that have gone through a lot of this stuff, and here's what they did to make it through. Because, I know, Rosie, you talk a lot about addiction and stuff, but there's a lot of other culture changes in hockey. I mean, at the Bantam age and stuff, the bullying, the hazing, there's a lot of stuff that needs attention to make the sport even greater than what it is.
Yeah. The LGBT community, my son is gay. We have to be able. There's so many athletes that are gay that are out there that they're afraid to come out, and we have to change that. That mindset has to change. Guys, I have a show called The Rosen Report. It's on 4:00 Eastern Standard Time for an hour till 5. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I want to have you both on. Obviously, I want to have you guys on, but I want to have you guys on at Blade Tech to talk about, like, a whole show to talk about it. And I've got a huge following in the para community.
Sure, Rosie, whatever you like, man. We're in for everything. So absolutely.
What's the time difference in Arizona? You guys are a couple hours behind. What time is it now?
3 hours, so it's 5:17 here. So I think we're a 3-hour time.
Yeah, it's 8:17 here. So yeah, okay. So at 4:00, it'd be 1:00 in the afternoon. If we can work out a day like Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday in the near future, we'll get you both on 2 separate shows.
So a Tuesday would definitely be great for us, because I know me and Austin, we work as cops together. Our schedule, Wednesdays through Saturdays when we're on shift, and so Sundays through Tuesdays are our weekends. That's mostly why we film on these days, is because the days we're off. But I think Chase would be more than excited to be on Paul Rosen's show.
All right, we will do that. We'll book you, and then Anthony, anytime you guys can do it, Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, we'll make it work.
Yeah, Rosie, we definitely got to connect and get connected and talk offline for sure, for sure. And I'm so happy you guys brought us on. Thank you so much. And Jeff's still here as well.
Thank you guys again for bringing us here. And as Rosie said, there's so many things that haven't been solved, or the pathways to them have only been started. And what Brady is doing is great. Chase, I know you're starting to go through a little bit of this, like, obviously through injury and recovery, and it's one thing when it's physical, it's a whole nother thing when it's mental. And even kind of like what Rosie said, like, for going back to that same arena, just being able to overcome that, whether it's getting on the ice early, like a few hours before the game, and whatever happened in that corner or at that boards, doing a hard turn, doing a hard stop, doing that 5 times and saying, you know what, this corner's mine. This corner's not going to get me again.
That's
and there's so many things that people go through that Rosie's alluded to, and that the hockey community, you'll see as you keep on going, Chase. It is really small. Like it's weird. Like it's big, but it's small. And so many people know so many people. Like, we got introduced to Brady and loved what he did and said, how can we help you? And then next thing you know, here we are talking to you, and now here we are talking to Paul. And then we had some random sled guy reach out to us a couple of years ago, and we said we'd be honored to try and make sled blades. And the community is really small, and everyone's out here to help each other, and that's the great thing. And as much as we can pay it forward, we definitely will. And just keep everyone going, and try to keep everyone positive, and just bringing awareness everywhere that we can. So thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yeah, I want to steal what you just said. The hockey community is so big yet so small. That's so true.
Everyone knows everyone.
Yep.
It is insane how that happens. So we're learning that. I mean, we are two guys, some completely, we played at a competitive level in the Toronto area, but not at a high level or anything close to pro or even junior A. But as we got entrenched in the hockey community about 6 years ago, we were starting to do like our second or third lap now, where all of our relationships are overlapping. People are getting to know each other, but things like this, doing the podcast, some social media stuff, Rosie, your show, that helps bring the community even closer together and kind of connect some of those links that might be missing, and opportunities to help more people. I mean, that's what it comes down to, and it's great.
Well, when we finalize the day that you're going to be on, I will pump it through the para community massive. So
we'll do something special for that, for the community as well. So
perfect.
Let's do that.
Awesome. We're going to have to bug Chase to make sure he has some good ideas, and we'll bug him to get some creativity going on what we can do here.
He's been very creative.
I wore one of my world championship rings today for you guys.
Cool.
Maybe we'll figure a way to put that on a blade.
No problem. Really, really cool. Yeah. 52 diamonds, right?
You got it.
Same one that Sidney Crosby bears.
That is 100%. Yeah. That was on the World Juniors, the women and us, and Wickenheiser, Crosby, and Rosen all got the same ring.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, normally we throw you guys down into the green room while we say goodbye to everybody. But you know what? This has been such an amazing show that I want you guys to join us and thanking everybody for joining us. And we definitely look forward to more of these. This has been incredible.
Yeah, we saw some of the comments that were coming through. I didn't. So thank you everyone that commented. I mean, and thank you for watching. It's been fun. And you guys, again, Chase, thank you guys for inviting us, on the spot out of the blue. And Rosie, thanks for sharing the stories. It's amazing to learn about your story. We're going to learn a lot more. We're going to talk to you a lot more for sure. Now that we're connected, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Sorry, that was awkward.
That was really awkward.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
I'm
Chase.
new to the podcast stuff.
All right, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
You guys want to hang out and talk right after?
Cheers, gents.